All right, welcome back, everyone, to a special edition of the Boston Boys Sports Podcast. This is the NBA Finals edition. This is a State of the Union for you Dallas fans and for us Boston fans. Boston is up 3-0. It is Thursday, June 13th, 2024. I am here with the beard, the best in the business, Kiefer Bontos. Kiefer, what's up, buddy?
Great game last night, boys. Getting to it now. Getting to it. One more.
And of course, Luca is James Harden, my guy, X's best agitator here, the arch nemesis of Miami, Steve Fernandez. Steve, what's up, dude?
Not much. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. I mean, I'm on cloud nine. It looks like Banner 18 is right within reach. We still got one more. I don't want to get ahead of ourselves. Steve, safe to say you're still picking Celtics in 7?
Yeah, why not? I can't break now.
I like that you won't come off a take. That's my favorite part of this whole thing. We also want to mention we are partnered with Jones Info Sports. We make sports better. I believe our boy Jones is from Dallas as well. So, Jones, good luck to you for the next 4 games if you get it. Check them out on Twitter. Check them out on X. Check them out on YouTube, Instagram, the whole 9 yards. You know it all. Let's just go right with our first opening take from last night's game. Stevie, what did you think about last night's game?
I was scared. I mean, as a Boston fan, a lot of these times we've seen a lot of blown leads. We saw them do it to Atlanta this year. They had a 30-point lead in the first half, blew it, lost the game in the end. So a little of that PTSD, if you will, kind of kicked in. But to see them win that way, the way that they won, it's kind of reassuring. It kind of makes you feel like they've gotten over the hump and they're moving in the right direction.
I agree with you because you said in our text chain last night, one of the things you're like, this is who they are. This is how they give up leads. And, I was very quick to defend the Celtics because I'm a green teamer. They're 15-2. So, this is who they are, though. I know in years past, they were the team that gave up these leads and didn't win. But it does look like they've turned a corner. And they are a team that gives up leads. But I think Kiefer has been on the forefront of saying, I don't care. This is a team built for momentum. Kiefer, is that correct?
The clutch, man. That's all they're about. In the clutch, they finish game. They straight up.
You watched that game last night. They didn't play overly well, right? They're down 1 at halftime, and then they come out in the third quarter, which, game 1 was that big point of contention, right? They give up a 20-9 run in game 1 and let the Mavericks within 7 or 8. But last night they come out and they score 35 in the third, and they outscore them 35-19. So it's like just when you think you've figured out this team, right? They kind of show you something a little different, right?
Every time. Yep.
And what do you guys think? Going forward, because there is a lot to get to because we have talked a lot about the Celtics. I kind of want to gear towards the Mavericks. Is this Mavericks team? Do they have anything in the tank to win this game in Dallas, or is this a team that folds, Kiefer?
Oh, they fold. Luka's already frustrated. Kyrie, and I said it. Kyrie's going to be played better in Dallas, which, in all fairness, shooting wise, he did. But you lost Luka. You just lost Luka. You can't win a game with just Kyrie, and their team is not good enough, to do anything. Well, Lively actually looked pretty good at the end of the game last night, but I don't think they do much.
Kyrie we talked about it. He's been tremendous all season for Dallas. This is a good team that got hot at the right time, right? Steve, you pointed that stat out. Their last 20 games, they went 16-4, right?
Yeah, 16-1 with Luka in the lineup. They lost 3 without him playing. Yeah.
So this was a team that was on a streak, and they've run into a buzzsaw. We saw it when the Patriots almost lost to the Giants in that undefeated season, and then they run into them again in the Super Bowl, and the Giants were a buzzsaw. This Dallas team was hot, and then when they went to Boston, Kyrie looked pedestrian in Boston. Like I said, I don't think he likes playing there. Last night, 35 points, and he was doing everything he could. Luka got sloppy last night.
Yeah, absolutely. Turnovers, the fouls, the flopping, I think, I mean, to go back to what Kiefer was saying, I think there's a chance they take Game 4. I think there's a chance that Luka comes out and scores 40, and Kyrie comes out and does the same. And then if it comes back to Boston, I mean, Game 5, it's over. I mean, I'm still sticking with my 7 because I said 7.
You have to. Right?
However, if I'm being a realist, I think they could steal one. It could be a gentleman's sweep. I mean, it could go that way, but
Yeah.
who knows? They could fold, like Kiefer was saying. They could fold. They could be like, oh, we're down 3-0, and it's all mental at this point, and they could break down like Luka was breaking down last night anyway.
Oh,
Yeah.
he was frustrated last night. You could tell
Oh,
in his face. He was swearing on the ground last night
Yeah.
at the bench, like swearing at him. It's like, wow.
I mean, the off season is not far away at this point. There is maximum 4 games left in the season, minimum 1 game left in the season, right? Dallas needs one part, I think, to compete going forward, because I think their window with just this team is over after this series. That team is not very good. Luka and Kyrie are top 10, top 15 players in the NBA. The rest of that team, Lively, I like. He's young. I mean, he needs some experience. They need a bona fide star. Is there a star in the league right now that you think could be on the out somewhere that could complement these two to catapult Dallas into an actual contender? Because if we were starting the season over right now, knowing everything you know about how the season ended, is Dallas in your top 4 teams in the West?
Ooh, that's tough. I mean, considering Denver, Oklahoma City, Minnesota are guarantees in my book.
Yeah. I mean, could Phoenix
Who's 4?
after 1 year? Could Phoenix look better after 1 year? Could LA maybe sneak back in there, whether it's the Clippers or the Lakers? I don't know what LeBron does. I don't know what Anthony Davis does. Like, is there a team that comes out of the woodwork? But I just say, like, is there a player out there that you think could complement Kyrie and Luka? Because to me, it's a big. They need a big, right?
A defensive big.
Yes, someone to help down low, because those two can score. They're going to score. Last night, 35 and 27. The problem is Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum are all both going for 30 as well. They just have more help. I mean, Sam Hauser, who I was talking about benching, scores 9. He hits 3 threes. Derek White comes alive again. Dallas doesn't have the horses to run with this team.
No. Hauser must have listened to the podcast I was talking about him because, you know,
Yeah.
we were kind of on him the other day.
We were talking about. I think Kiefer said he should have been benched after the Miami series.
Yeah, they did say that.
But like the Celtics, I think the Celtics are set up for a dynasty right now. I know it's too early to call, but that is a lot of young talent. They have everyone's locked up pretty much too. I mean, so they're going to keep being there. This is maybe they don't win another one. Maybe they don't even win this one. Maybe this is the Mavericks come back. It could happen until they actually win. I won't say it's a foregone conclusion that they've won a championship, but this is a young team. Can Dallas keep up with the pace that the Celtics are on right now? I don't think with this team.
No, I think you said right. The defensive big man is what they need. I'm not sure who's up on a contract year for defensive bigs in the league right now.
I would have to look. I haven't looked, but they could also do something with trades because they do have players that they can move. Like Derek Lively is a piece you can move. He's young. He'll be good. But do you want to move him? I mean, they just got him. Is he a rookie or first year? Is he a rookie this year?
No,
Yeah.
he's a rookie.
Yeah, out of would he go to Duke? So I mean, I don't want to spend too much time on Dallas, obviously, because we are Boston fans and we want to talk more about Boston and Tatum and Brown and the Porzingis injury, because we were texting back and forth with that. Porzingis might play next game. Do you think he's a difference maker, or do you think this is a publicity stunt to get him some minutes for the title run?
I think it might be a little publicity stunt. Honestly, I think it's better to sit him. I mean, there's doctors out there talking about this injury, saying that it could be long term, like could affect next season.
Yeah.
So I think at this point, when you're up 3-0, it would be nice to have him on the floor so he can get his title, quote unquote.
Yeah.
But you got to be smart too. You locked him up. You got to be smart for the long run as well.
I I will second that. Kiefer, how do you feel?
I when they played in the beginning of the game, it was like, wow, they're really gonna hurt this bad without KP. And then the clutch. I've been saying it all the whole time. Their clutch is amazing. If they didn't play him tomorrow, I wouldn't be upset.
Yeah.
Game 5 might be a different story. I don't want it to go 7 games. I want it if it doesn't finish in Dallas, I want it to finish Game 5.
I'm with you. I put him on the bench and dress him, and you tell him, listen, you can go in the final 2 minutes of the game if we have a big lead, so you can be on the court for the title. If that's what he wants, I don't think you need to do that. Like, the guy's a true professional. He's been a big part of this team. It's not as if he played 27 games and he's going to get a ring and people are going to look at him like he didn't do anything. He's been a big contributor. We've talked about it. The offense runs differently with him on the court. As long as you have Tatum and Brown playing the way they're playing, and I still hear the shit talking on Tatum, and it drives me wild. I know his shoot. Like, I think people look at him and they compare him to LeBron, Kobe, Jordan. It's like, oh, he's not as good as these guys. Yeah, you're right. No one's arguing that, but you can't argue the fact that he's a plus. The team, as I said the last time when it was just me and Kiefer, they are a plus 166, now a plus 162. It was a -4 last night. The Celtics are a plus 162 when he's on the floor. So regardless of his shooting woes, because it hasn't been great, he's scoring, he's rebounding, he's passing. Now in 13 of the 17 games, he's had a double-double or a triple-double. That's incredible.
Oh, without a doubt. And we talked about this too a little bit now. How how everything's been going, who gets Finals MVP?
I have my answer. Steve, I'll defer to you.
I'm gonna go with I think it's Jaylen Brown. I think it's going to be Jaylen Brown, and I believe it should be Jaylen Brown, especially yesterday. I mean, considering last night what he did in the second half, like, he was the clutch player, and he's been clutch the whole. But I wouldn't be upset if somebody said Jrue Holiday. And one of the craziest things that I've seen come out of this so far, Jrue Holiday doesn't have a single turnover in the finals yet.
Oh my! I did not know that.
That's one of the craziest stats that I've seen so far.
Without you saying that stat, mine was Jrue Holiday. I think he's the difference maker on this team. You went from, and I know it was Porzingis for Smart, but you replaced Smart with Jrue Holiday. Jrue Holiday brought professionalism. He brought a championship DNA. He has been solid all year. You know what you're getting out of him every single night. He's played defensively. He stopped Kyrie in Boston. The Kyrie was awful in Boston. Okay, Jrue Holiday is what you needed. You've had Brown and Tatum for the last 4 years and you haven't won a title. You get Jrue Holiday. The stat that he hasn't had a turnover is just completely indicative of the player that he is. They should this is a chance for them to say the guy who scored the most isn't the MVP. It's the guy that brought this team here, and I believe that's Jrue Holiday. I wouldn't be upset with Tatum or Brown. It should be Brown over Tatum. Brown got the Eastern Conference Finals MVP, so I can see him giving it to Tatum, but mine is Jrue Holiday.
Okay.
Kiefer?
I was leaning more towards Brown. That is an insane stat to know in the finals. Like that's pure basketball IQ. I'm not turning the ball over. I'm not making anything easy for him. Yeah. So I wouldn't hate Holiday either. I'm not going to say Brown. I mean, I'm not going to say Tatum. And I just say everybody's going to jump. Well, if they win, Tatum's going to get no. Brown or Holiday, I'm good for.
Yeah. The other person, and it might Xavier Tillman is shooting 100% from 3 after making 1, so maybe him. No. Oh yeah, I mean, I just, one thing I go back to. Sorry, that one got me. I got myself with that. I knew it was coming. The people out there, I said it in the podcast when it was me and Kiefer and Steve. Also, I want to say we're glad to have you back. I mean, you are our Kristaps Porzingis. I'm just glad you're back on your feet.
I appreciate it.
You got a championship ring too. The people who say that the Damian Lillard trade was still a successful trade for Milwaukee. People are willing to die on that hill. You're insane if you've been. Now, even knowing that stat, even more. No turnovers in the finals in 3 games against Luka and against Kyrie. He is not making mistakes. How can you tell me that this was a good trade still, Steve? Was it a good trade?
No, of course not. I mean, the situation. I'll go to something. So on Twitter today, I was talking. Somebody brought up simple question: who would you be the happiest to see win a title if the Celtics end up finishing this? And everybody said Al Horford, and my answer was I would be ecstatic to see Al Horford get one. But I think my favorite person to see would be Drew Holiday.
Yeah.
Even though he already has one, he tweeted out like 3 or 4 days before the trade, I love being in Milwaukee. I want to be here the rest of my life. His wife loves it. Everything is great. And then they just traded him because they thought, we're getting Damian Lillard. This is over. We're going to get this guy instead. They shipped him to Portland, and all of a sudden, obviously he ends up here. And the guy has fallen in love with where he is. He loves what he's doing. He loves being here. He's professional, like you said. He's got that championship mentality. And no, I mean, to trade Drew Holiday and Damian Lillard are like 33 days apart in age. Like it's a super short window. So you didn't trade to get somebody younger. You didn't trade. And I know Damian Lillard is a superstar. We all know. You and I have spoken about Damian Lillard. He's one of our favorite players in the league.
Yes.
But considering the defense, the professionalism, the ability to win, the know-how, and how to win, no, it wasn't. For us, it was a win. For Portland, they got they're building, so it's a little bit different. But for Milwaukee, no, not even close. They lost that trade.
Yeah, it was, to me, when you look at Giannis and Dame, it's like those guys don't really mesh. Maybe they will in year 2. I don't know. We'll see it. But Giannis is not a guy who shoots. He's a guy who wants to drive to the basket. He's worked a little bit on that 3-point shot. But Damian Lillard is a ball-first guy. He just wants to shoot. And that's why he worked in Portland for so many years. Is like he could score 50 a night or 30 a night and take 40 shots if he wanted to because no one else was there. Some guys, it just doesn't look like that mixed. And they fire their coach midway through the season when they were in second place at the time. Like, nothing jibed with that. And there's still people, Milwaukee fans mostly, sitting there saying, like, you do that trade 10 out of 10. I don't think I do. I mean, especially, like, maybe I do that trade a year and 2 months ago. I don't do it now. Now knowing everything, why would you get rid of a guy who plays defense, doesn't make mistakes, can score, but is a team guy?
This is why I say Brad Stevens is the real MVP of this team.
Yeah.
You get 2 firsts in the KP trade and then get Holiday. He knew what he was doing when he did this.
Now, this is a wild little out of left field idea. If the Celtics won a title and Al Horford rides off into the sunset, I don't know the contractual thing. Do you think Marcus Smart's eyes open up and he thinks, God, I've had a year in Memphis. This was miserable. I was not part of the big 3. Had I just accepted a role, I could have been good, and you could see him sit on your bench. Like, it's a completely hypothetical. Is it like, I don't know that you would want him back. Boston loved Marcus Smart. Yeah. Is Marcus Smart just Marcus Smart, or is he a guy who could say, I could be a backup on that team?
I love Marcus Smart. He was the heart and soul of the team, but I said it. I was talking to our buddy Luke earlier, and I saw something come out of Jaylen Brown when Marcus Smart left. Jaylen Brown has become that dog that you want. Yeah. He's become a leader. And I think that was in part because of Marcus Smart's leaving.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you'd want that back. And as much as I love him, and it hurts me to say that, I don't think he'd fit back in here, to be honest with you.
No, you know, thought he was the team. He thought he was the captain, the sole person of the team. He had the cast with him, but he wasn't that, and it proved it this year.
Well, look at the game 1 in Indiana with Jaylen Brown's shot. What did I say to you? I texted you guys that night. In the years past, that wouldn't have been Jaylen Brown hitting that shot, that corner 3. Yeah. That would have been Marcus Smart bombing a 30-footer, and it would have been a brick. That's
Yeah,
what we've seen for the past 7, 8 years, whatever he was here for.
I think Marcus Smart was the only guy in the history of the NBA to shoot a 3-pointer with 28 seconds on the shot clock. I mean, he's the only guy in the history. He would run from anywhere, man. He didn't care. He'd shoot at lefty if they gave it to him with 3 guys on him. I mean, I agree. It was a completely hypothetical because I am a Smart fan too. And watching him rot in Memphis, he only played 20 games this year, but it's like Memphis. I mean, that's just it's a bad sports city anyway. Just move that team to Vegas. Who cares? But
Seattle.
I would. Oh yeah. Well, now that we're doing NBA Finals edition. But let's jump into that. If you could, let's say they were going to take the NBA was going to expand 2 more teams, because you can always shift teams. Where would you go instead of moving Memphis? 2 cities. What 2 cities would you want to see?
Did you see the conversation when Adam Silver was on the desk with Scal and Eddie House and whoever else is on before Game 1?
No.
They asked him about that. They said they talked about the TV, the media deal, and then they said after the media deal, what are you talking about? Are we talking expansion? You guys looking to go to 32? And the 3 places he mentioned were Seattle, Las Vegas, Mexico City.
Okay,
Those are the 3 places.
So Mexico City was on my list when I did, and I don't want to jump into any other sport. This is the finals edition, but I've said that for baseball as well. Like that's a huge market. That's a massive city, and it's so close. Why would you not want you introduce another country? And it's close enough. Why not? Seattle, I love. Bring the Sonics back. I mean, who wasn't a Sonics fan growing up? We're all kind of the same age, man. Who didn't love Kemp and Peyton? Oh my God, Detlef Schrempf, Hersey Hawkins. I mean, Nate McMillan, Sam Perkins. The list goes on. I love the Sonics. In Vegas it's gonna happen. It's every sport's going to Vegas. So, Kiefer, where would you go? Give me 2 teams.
Awesome.
That was yeah.
Yeah. Concord, New Hampshire.
Yeah.
Bring it.
Oh man, no. Vegas is happening no matter what. You can't even pick 2. You can't pick 2 other places. Vegas is happening. I think Seattle's a good basketball place, so that would be bad. Why they moved from Seattle, I can't even remember. But they should have never. They had Kevin Durant. They could have built that OKC team in Seattle.
Yeah,
and they didn't. So
yeah.
It was a wrong move.
I don't necessarily know the reason they moved. I do know that, they had, because that was the big draft where Danny Ainge swore up and down if he got the number 1 pick, he was taking Durant, which everyone knows. Odin was the conclusion. He was the consensus number 1 pick, but Danny Ainge swears up and down he was taking Durant. And then they moved a year after. I actually don't know the reasoning. I don't know if they just sold and went to OKC or what, but I think we're all on the same page. I love the idea of Mexico City, Vegas, and Seattle. Is there an Eastern city that you would move a team to?
They're talking Canada at that point if they're looking Eastern. I mean, I don't know if they look at a Montreal or something like that, but he mentioned Canada as well, looking at a couple cities in Canada. But that's going to be tough. I mean, we all know the money situation. Everybody wants to play in the city without taxes and all this other nonsense, and Canada's tough on that.
I mean, can I just throw out 2 Eastern Conference sports cities that, I mean, a city is a city is a city, but Baltimore and Pittsburgh, do they not have any marketability for the NBA? Like, I mean, Baltimore's a sports city. I mean, the Orioles are relevant again. The Ravens are always good. And then when you look at Pittsburgh, I mean, the Penguins, the Steelers, I mean, those 2 teams are like synonymous with their leagues. The Pirates, not so much, but I don't know. I would love to see Pittsburgh get a city and be black and yellow, and then it's uniformed all around for Pittsburgh. I think that's like one of the coolest things in sports.
Yeah.
But are they a basketball? Is it? You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Well, no, because they don't have a team.
No, I know. But Pittsburgh. Do you picture Pittsburgh having a basketball team?
Well, yeah. I mean, that's what I mean. Is Pittsburgh's a sports city, right? They're the Steel City. They're a football city.
Yeah.
I don't know that there's a market there. I've never been to Pittsburgh, but I don't know. It's a team with three sports. The Steelers are popular. The Penguins are popular. I mean, I can imagine, like, who do people in Pittsburgh root for? They root for Cleveland, Indiana, like who? I mean, Memphis. Like, I have no
The
idea.
Knicks. Yeah, I would think that they're such a good sports city. I think it would stick. I mean,
Yeah.
I'll throw another one out there. Springfield, Mass.
Yeah,
I mean,
why not? Right?
it's where it was invented, right? From what we
Basketball Hall of
understand.
Fame.
Yeah, why not? You know what I mean?
I
Just
mean,
another
like,
addition for us.
rival? Absolutely. You know, Tatum
Mhm.
leaves Boston for Springfield.
There we go. I like it.
All right. Well, let's get back to the finals. We veer off, and that's a good time to always talk. We'll talk more about that the next time, though, because I would love to dive deep into this and see some stats. But what do you expect? Game. Let's do Friday night, 8:00, 8:30 tip off. Do we think it's coming back to Boston, or do we think that Dallas folds? Do they want to get back on a plane and go to Boston to potentially lose?
Go ahead, Kiefer.
I just want to see it finish in Boston. So I want to say yes, that Luka comes out with a fire at him and something happens crazy at the end of the game and they lose and they have to go back to Boston. But then you're going to see them completely crumble in Boston. So I see it going either way, but I would like to see this finish in Game 5 in Boston. Crowd be for it.
All right. Stevie, I see you smirking. Is it
I
coming
hate
back?
that. I hate that. I hate wishing for a loss. Not even wishing for a loss. Like, that's not wishing for a loss. I get it.
Yeah.
You want to see it on the home floor. You want to see it on Lucky. I understand it. But so many things can happen.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say what can happen. I think everybody understands what I'm saying.
I know.
But so many things can happen where just finish it. Get it over with. Celebrate in Dallas. And then bring it home and we can have the duck boats. Like, I am 100% okay with that.
It's the prediction, though. So, Kiefer, is your prediction that it comes back to Boston?
I'm predicting that they come back to Boston.
Okay, so you got a Dallas victory, Game 4. Stevie?
I'm going to predict it does come back to Boston because I think Luka is going to get over his whatever mindset he's in right now. I think he's going to have a big game in Game 4, and it does come back and they win in Game 5.
It's over, boys.
I hope you're right.
Get the brooms out. We're sweeping them. It's over. They don't want to get back on a plane to come to Boston, to lose in Boston. We all know who Kyrie is. He's a great player, mental midget. I could see him quitting on that team. Steve, can I just see that picture of Luka real quick? That's a guy I know and love. See you later. Game 4, it's over. You can count banner 18. Celtics are going to win, and they're going to win big. This one's not even going to be close. Luka 1 for 7 in Game 3 from 3-point range. He might be 2 for 9. It's not going to be good. Not going to be pretty. That's my prediction. And now I want to move on to something really controversial. As of late, we don't talk a lot of WNBA here. We don't talk a lot of women's Team USA basketball. But it is in the news front right now that Caitlin Clark will not be a member of Team USA. And it's got everybody talking, and everyone's up and on saying she should be on the team. Steve, should she be on Team USA? Did they make the right decision? What do you think?
She should not.
Oh, that's a hot.
I believe, 12 players on the roster. I believe there's about 10 other females that could have made it before her, considering what's going on right now. And my opinion is the only reason that you would put her on Team USA is because you marketability.
Yes.
And that isn't what Team USA is about. Team USA is about winning their 8th gold medal in a row. So if that's what you're going for and you're going for the best team, she should not be on the team.
So I might have this wrong because I have that Team USA won 9 consecutive golds. So maybe I miscounted and they were going for their 10th. But if they're going for their 8th, irregardless if it's
Yeah.
8th or 10th, Kiefer, let's get you. Why don't you want to sound off on this? Should she be on that team?
I don't think she should be on the team, though. I think she should play for a team and not just sit out the Olympics. I did hear a couple of sportscasters talking about her. I think they said she was Italian, maybe going to play for Team Italy.
Okay.
Don't know. She needs to be in it just for the marketability. Does she need to play for us right now? No. I think she's still a lot of people are hating on her in the WNBA right now. If you haven't noticed, the shoving, the picking on, the this and that. And she came into this is one of the biggest stars because of what she did in college. So
I'm really conflicted on this because the truth is, from a marketability standpoint, she should 100% be on the team. She's the biggest name in women's basketball. Everything she did in college, I mean, we talked about it. They're packing arenas that she's playing in, and then, they're having to get bigger arenas to seat people so they can play. So I understand that. But I do think people are still, the lines are starting to get blurred for people who are saying she's the greatest ever. And it's like, well, not yet. She was in college. She was a woman amongst girls in college. But I looked at her stats WNBA wise. She's the 9th ranked guard in points per game. She's the 16th ranked guard in field goal percentage. She's the 15th ranked guard in 3-point field goal percentage. 5th ranked guard in rebounds, 3rd in assists, 7th in steals, 3rd in blocks. She ranks first in only one category. Steve, what is it?
I believe it's turnovers.
Turnovers. She cannot control the ball. She is anti-Drew Holiday with the ball. It's like, so who are you going to replace her with? That's my question, because I went and looked at all the guards that are on Team USA. So the Team USA women's, who already have a gold with the women's, are Chelsea Gray, Jewel Lloyd, Diana Taurasi, who are all better points per game in a WNBA game. And then, but the other 4 guards that are on the roster are Kalia Cooper, who's one of the leading scorers in the league, Sabrina Ionescu, who is one of the leaders, Kelsey Plum, who's one of the scoring leaders. So the only person that I could see you potentially replacing her with is Jackie Young. And Jackie Young versus Caitlin Clark, Jackie Young has better points per game, better assists per game, better rebound per game, better field goal percentage. Caitlin Clark leads in 3-point field goal percentage, steals per game, blocks per game, and one other category. Steve, what is it?
I believe turnovers.
Turnovers. So no, let her grow. We don't have to put her on a pedestal just yet. She's going to be potentially the greatest WNBA player of all time. She's not there yet. So we don't have to push her and catapult her into a position. I agree with Kiefer. USA doesn't want you. Go play with someone else. Go play with Australia. You can declare for any country.
Yep. You're not wrong. She was already put on a pedestal before she even came into the WNBA. She was, like you said, the bona fide star of college basketball.
Yeah,
that's why she's hated. That's why the other players hate her. I mean, she has done nothing in the league. She has 78 assists this year to 70 turnovers.
Yeah,
the closest female to her in turnovers is at like 48, I believe it was. I think I sent that to you.
Yeah, you said that. Yeah.
Yeah, and she's shooting 37% from the field, and what is it, 33% from 3. Like, she's not. There's a lot there that's missing, and I get it. They've had a lot of games. Indiana has played a ton of games without the ability to practice, so she hasn't had an off season. Like, there are so many things that have played into this, and I give her a pass for a lot of those. But to take all of this into account, keep her off the team. She's young. She's, 21, 22, I believe she is.
21 years old, yeah.
Right. So 4 years from now, she'll be 25. She'll play in the next Olympics. She has plenty of time. And she said that. Like, she's handled all of this with class.
Yes.
Like, I'm not going to despise her because of all the other stuff. Her answers and the way that she handles media and the way she answers the questions that have to come with, like, what people are saying and stuff like that, she handles it perfectly. She has a ton of class, especially for a 21-year-old.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's okay not playing on for USA this year.
Now, do you
She'll
think
be okay.
when she was in college, she was having more fun than she is right now?
Yes.
Play like
Yes.
now. Hear me out. Crazy thing right here. Ice Cube invited her to go play with a big contract
The
in the
big
big.
three.
Yeah.
Tell me she wouldn't have some fun playing there, get back in a rhythm where she's not hated. He's sitting there. I'm just saying. She could
I
have.
hate this conversation of her playing against men because she has 70 turnovers in the WNBA, where the second place on that is 48 or whatever I said it was.
Yeah.
Like, in the NBA, she wouldn't be the 12th man. She wouldn't be anywhere near
No,
an
not
NBA
unless it was a
roster.
publicity stunt. This is the
Right.
whole question. Could she play in the NBA? Yes, for a publicity stunt. But no, that's the reason we have an NBA and a WNBA. Let
Yep.
these women be great women. They don't have to compete against a man to be a great man. I mean, great basketball player. She is a great basketball player. She is leaps and bounds better than anybody that I even know plays basketball. But let women be women. If she went to the big three and she played, like, this was, remember the Scal Challenge from years ago? When
Yes.
we want to get legitimate D1 college players to come play Scal. Scal's the 12th guy on the bench. I think the closest game, it was like 11-2, and he played a kid from Providence. Like, it's Scal said it perfectly. I'm closer to LeBron than you are closer to me. Like, and it's the perfect assessment of it. I don't think she would have fun playing against the men unless they were taking it easy on her, because it's two different physical builds. She's going to be potentially the greatest WNBA player ever. I mean, and I'm a Caitlin Clark fan. You know, we talked about this when the NCAA championship, the March Madness was on, and we didn't touch the subject then because it was a hot topic about could she play in the Ice Cube or could she play with the men? And it's like, I'm just going to stay out of that. Let her play with the women. She's great with the women. She's been awesome and fantastic to listen to because Steve's right. She's handled this with class. But what guard are you kicking off this team? Like, in 4 years, when Diana Taurasi is not playing anymore, she can take her spot.
Yep, I agree. I mean, I'll put it this way, just to keep it so nobody can say anything. If I played against Caitlin Clark in a 1-on-1 to 10, she would beat me 74-0.
Yeah.
Like there's like I'm not even going to pretend. I mean, when in high school I played against the varsity girls, and they smoked me. Like, I know where I stand. I understand that. She is unbelievable, but give her time. Give her time. Let her progress. Let her actually have an off season. She didn't have an off season. I mean, what was the break between her playing in college, the draft, and then the WNBA season started? It was what, a month and a half, I believe it was.
Yeah.
She hasn't had a professional off season yet.
No. I mean, and that's the thing, is like, put her in the NBA. She's playing Marcus Smart. She's 6 foot. She's a 6 foot guard. She's playing Marcus Smart, who's 6'2" and physical, right?
Yeah.
She's playing against Drew Holiday. She's playing against Kyrie Irving. They don't mix. I'm sorry, but it's just, I don't think she would have fun in the big three getting beat up even more. She's getting beat up by the women right now. Like, she has a target on her back. That's why it's not fun. Like Steve said, let her have the off season. Maybe she progresses, gets better, and then it's more fun for her. And I'll tell you another reason it's not fun. Who's having fun going 3-10 in Indiana?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's a miserable time. They'll get better. She'll get better. This is not some big, like, black mark on a record that Team USA didn't want her. I think it's being blown up more than it needs to be. Caitlin Clark, phenomenal basketball player. Let her play when she's 25.
I agree.
All right. That's where
100%.
that's where I stand with that. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about? This was an NBA Finals edition of the Boston Boys Sports. So anything else you guys want to roll with?
Think about it. You got anything over there, Mr. Luka is not James Harden?
Yeah, I'm gonna throw two little pieces out there that I had for you guys. One, just so you guys, this is a memory. I want you guys as Boston Celtics fans to remember. The last loss that the Celtics had was May 9th.
Okay.
I want you to remember that. And Luka Doncic on defense has had a 68% blow-by rate on drives by the Celtics in the finals so far.
Okay.
Which is the worst in 10 years. Second worst was Luka 4 years ago. So there's a reason that Joe Mazzulla's out here targeting Luka on defense and the picks and trying to set up the plays to get him as the primary defender on the ball handler so that they can expose him.
Well, that's actually brilliant coaching by Mazzulla then, so let's give him his due because that is a great stat, actually, Steve. Really great stat. Kiefer, you got anything for us?
No, I just want them to finish this, man. We need Banner 18 in the rafters. Let's do something. Whether it's game 5 or 4, let's see them win this, pull it together, and then let's see a dynasty happen from this.
I'm with you. We need a dynasty. We need a big championship run to forget that the Boston Red Sox exist and the New England Patriots exist.
Hey, the Sox are up 8-3 right now. Come on.
Well, listen, the Sox are going to play. If I were a betting man, they're going to win tonight and lose tomorrow because that's the nature of who they are. Steve, you weren't here with us for all the Boston Red Sox trade talk, so we will talk about that next time. We will be filming another podcast Sunday night. As for now, that's all we have. This was a special edition, NBA Finals edition. Yours and my Boston Celtics up 3-0 against the evil villain Dallas Mavericks. Friday night, make sure you're parked in front of a TV to watch the Boston Celtics win another NBA championship, the league-leading 18th championship. Tatum gets his first. Brown gets his first. Horford gets his first, rides off to the sunset. And Drew Holiday, your MVP, will have his second. Guys, it is always a pleasure. Steve, glad to see you back on your feet. Love having you here.
Sure.
Beard, keep looking beautiful, my man.
Yeah, try.
All right, guys, we are partnered with Jones Info Sports. We make sports better. Check them out, and we are the Boston Boys Sports. Thank you for coming in and watching, and we will do it all again Sunday night, guys. Guys, have a good night.
You too. Have a good one.
You too, bud. Take care.